on Sunday.
There we go.
It is like it's like a vacuum model manual thing.
Whoops,
Okay.
sell stuff. There we go.
Zeller used this in 1967, February 4th.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, she did. And
a little late. I gotta get my laptop set up here. Get it into live chat. Everybody's over at Thrift U. They're doing a live haul tonight. So we are right on time. Once everybody gets here. Oh, there it is. Need to clean my glasses a little bit. I know, and I think we're gonna have we have a challenge tonight. Thrift U decided to pop up on a live haul. Sam and Sarah are never on Thursdays. I'm hanging in there, Nettie. Yesterday was an extremely rough day. So, oh, thank you, Angela. Thank you. That was kind of you. That's better. I need to get new glasses, but my insurance only pays for the eye exam because I'm starting to get too many little scratches on these. They start bothering my eyes. like so many other things that need replacing in this place. So, hi, Diana. So, yeah, you've been through that too. Yeah. So, Katie's here. Sharon, hi. I saw Sam and Sarah pop up saying alive, and I'm like, are you me? First of all, I didn't have everything ready yet. I didn't have numbers on things. It was so distracting. And I've already had enough distracting. Yes, Gabrielle, send your info. The email is right on the corner there of your screen. And it's all the usual stuff that I need. I need your name, your address, your email, your PayPal email. And well, you could tell I haven't been in my email today. There's like every time there's a comment on one of my videos, it tells me. It sends me an email. There's a bunch of them there from today. I already saw them, but I just didn't. Yeah, honey, Gandalf is, it's not good news. You know it's not good whenever you have a pet that lays down by the water bowl and just stares at the water. They won't drink it, but you know they want to. He's not the first pet I've had do that. And that happened the night before we went to the Tuesday night. And he was doing so well from the infection. But the reason they gave him a 50-50 chance was when they diagnosed him with feline HIV, because they said it could trigger problems. And he seemed to be doing so much better that first week. I mean, the first 2 days was 24-hour care. And that first week, then once he started eating, he was starting to gain weight. You could feel it because I could run my hand down his back and you didn't feel the bumps of the spine anymore. He was gaining weight. And then Monday, he slowed down on what he was eating, still kept drinking a lot, but I picked him up and realized he's not gaining more weight. He's losing it again. Something's wrong. And it turns out that his liver was starting to shut down. They did a test and showed that it hadn't shut down yet, but it definitely was not working correctly anymore. And it was most likely from being HIV positive. And that was the risk, is that, even if he fought the infection, there was a chance that something else would come up with a main organ. So they said that was a 50-50. And so yesterday when we went to the vet, I kind of knew when he was laying there the night before, just staring at that water bowl. I was like, this isn't good. Kind of knew I was not coming home with a kitty alive. So he's home. He is home. He's out back with the other. Well, let's see. Wait a minute. I'll be 56 in October. My parents moved in October 1st, 2 years before I was born. So the other 58 years worth of family pets? Yeah, there's a reason I will never read Stephen King's Pet Cemetery. There's a lot of pets out there. So we tried to estimate his age, and they had said he was between 9 and 11. And for a cat that had been outside for we don't know how long, that's pretty far up there. But the vet told me that even though it was, it's only halfway through February, that Gandalf was the 5th cat he'd had to put down for complications from feline HIV this year. 5 of them just this year. We're only to the middle of February. It's because the feral cats in our neighborhood, it's everywhere. They all seem to have it. So yeah, it was hard. It was hard because too, I think because with him, he's been coming around for at least 7 years. It took 2 years before he would even set foot in the house to come eat in the kitchen. I put a lot of work into trying to turn him into, a loved house cat and get him to understand that, he had a safe place. But it took 2 years and being bit several times and having to be on antibiotics before he calmed down and would even sit next to me with the bowl of food next to me out on the porch. So, but I think he knew. And the only thing that irked the crap out of me was the fact that I could hear him at one point, because they don't let you in. And I had sent a note in with his old medical history and what had happened, and said flat out, COVID be damned. You're either letting me in to spend the last, holding on to him, or you're doing this in the parking lot if this is what has to happen. So they let me in, but he wasn't in the room. Well, they wasn't happy about this. I could hear him. This is a cat who's never made a lot of noise, and I heard 3 very loud cries out. And I knew right away it was him. They shoved a catheter into his leg. That hurts. That hurts for a human. So they charged me $100 for the privilege of him putting a catheter in to make it easier to find the vein. Are you shitting me? You can't find the vein? Are you kidding? So I wasn't happy about that. But as soon as they put him down on the examining table, and they had a nice, soft, comfy blanket there, he came right over. And he was never a cuddle cat. You saw him, a week ago. He didn't want to be cuddled, but he just curled right up, put his head right in my hands. And so he knew he was cared about. But, it's never easy. They're your family. It's never easy. And the doctor doesn't know what to do because she keeps looking around for him. And we did the thing of, you bring the animal home and you lay the baby down on the floor. You let the other animals come smell him. She wouldn't go anywhere near him. So I tried to get her near her. He's not moving, of course. She's still hissing at him. She's still flipping out about his very existence in the house. So she's a little dipshit. But she's confused now. So she's somewhere around here sleeping. She may show up when she hears me start talking. So, but yeah, it is hard, but, and the other thing that got to me is I bring the cat home, And this vet is interesting. He's from South Korea. And so the cat was actually wrapped like in a they use like the pee pad kind of, but they carefully wrap it, and it had a little bow thing on the top to show you which part was the head. And he was explaining how we're in his country, even for animals, you plant them with the head, and people, you put them in the, I'm saying plant them like they're a carrot. You put them in the ground with the head facing north so that they can find their way, which I thought was sweet, but I come in and I got my fur baby and I take him out of the carrier so I can put him down and let the doctor see that he's gone. And that quick, I mean, at this point, the body's not even cold. And my brother says, "Oh, I saw a kitty in the paper. We could get a kitten." You believe that? This is why Gary came with the house. The judgment skills about social cues just don't exist for him. He can't live alone because of things like that. The social cues just aren't there. And in about another few days, I will be able to laugh without tears over how bizarre that was. That, I just, the body's still warm and you're talking to me about getting a kitten. It just, yeah, oh man. Yeah, I'm going to need another week or two before I can laugh at that without tears in my eyes, but it's just typical of Gary. But that's why my brother is, it's not even so much that he's meant to be trying, well, he is trying to fix it, but at the same time, I think most men would know to wait a day or two. Not Gary. But Gary did have some brain injury in a car accident when he was in his early 20s, so. And Gary's never quite been right. So, yeah, but it is hard. So in the spring, we'll see. Most of our animals have found us. I would love to have a dog, but the yard's not fenced in. I want a Shiba Inu or a Yorkie or a Corgi. Oh, yeah, Katie, you understand, right? There's always somebody. It's like, oh, you're not getting another one, right? Gary, I know, didn't mean it in the wrong way. Gary has the heart of gold. But to balance that towards me, he also is extremely passive aggressive, which is why, even though he knows it gives me an asthmatic attack, he still smokes in my car when he uses my car. Jerk. But at the same time, I do know that he's got a heart of gold. And I also know that this would have upset him too. He may fuss about, well, they're not my kids, and stuff like that, and fusses about the cats. I also know that he loves them very much. So, yeah. It's just Gary. It's just Gary. That's pretty much how we say it in our family too. It's just Gary. You just accept it. He's just a little different and unique. So, the brooch. Okay, I decided to pull out one out of the good jewelry box. So when you see this super, super shiny back, that is called rhodium plating. It's made to imitate silver, but it doesn't tarnish like silver. It also has this very liquid look to it, like they just kind of dipped it or dripped it over. Now the front is all Aurora Borealis crystals. Look at it, pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? And no, you can't buy it. Not this one. This one's a keeper. This one came from my mother. This one, it doesn't have a maker's mark on the back, but this is one from my mother. You just rescued a stray 2 months ago from a Walmart parking lot. Oh, good luck getting the sister. It's amazing to me the places that people will drop cats. Sorry, guys. Gandalf, I mean, he was called Gandalf the Stray, but when he first started showing up, he had cigarette burns on him. So I think he was a dumped cat, and other things made it pretty obvious he was probably raised with dogs. The doctor was born in the shed next door. She and two of the other siblings, I never caught the fourth one, were rescues. And if we get a kitten, it won't be until spring, because come spring, every shelter in the area, Forgotten Cats, which does nothing but cat rescues, everybody's going to have kittens that they're trying to rehome. So if we get another one, it's not going to be probably until at the earliest April when the kittens start rolling in. Oh, that's a good name. You named him Wally. Well, Walmart, Wally, that works. So we have a lot of stuff tonight. A lot of books too. Oh, I want to I felt so bad. I was so thrilled to find this for this price. And I want to show you what I did, and I screwed it up. So when I first showed this, there was the gold wasn't real shiny. It certainly wasn't shiny up here. And then I washed it. Well, I thought what I had was soft enough, and what I thought was soap bubbles was not. It was the fact that gold is an extremely soft metal. And can you see how there's white? I was so heartbroken. I washed some of the gold right off. I did it to the handle too. I mean, it has an interesting look, because it looks like spilled milk now. It's usually called weeping gold. Now it looks like spilled milk. But I just was so heartbroken that I did that, because that's $6 down the drain. I was going to resell it, and I should have easily been able to get, I should have been easily been able to get 15 for it, but I ruined it. So you have to be very careful when dealing with stuff that has that gold to it, because gold is such a soft metal. And I flippin' ruined it. It's still pretty. Yes, it is still beautiful. I do think it does look, it has an interesting look now, because it kind of looks like, because the white has a translucent kind of look to it. So it does look like spilled milk. But I really was so upset when I did that. Angel tears texture now. Well, that's an interesting way of putting it. You know, it's a bad day if I'm drinking whiskey in front of you guys. I haven't had a stiff drink in a long time. So let's get this party started, because I have, of course, you know, with what happened, I didn't really have a preview other than a few pictures I threw up on Instagram. So some of this stuff is things that you won't have seen. And some of it is stuff you've seen. Now, I have this. Now, you could see, like, which side is it? It's down here. There is a piece of what looks like packing tape over the bottom, but it's Hygeia Dustless from the American Crown Company, but it's a vintage box of chalk. Now, some of the pieces in there are broken. They might all be broken, but it's an almost full box. Get this lid shut. Originally, it was just 17 cents. I think Hygeia still makes chalk. Highest quality for chalkboard use, because I did find some of these on eBay. So, well, I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing it right, because it's Hygeia. And honestly, that looks like an English version of something in Greek. So, was there a Hygeia in Greek mythology? So this is just $4. Just $4, which is, you know, a good price, but I know they go higher, but because of this tape, I can't see that in good conscience. So it's $4, it's number 40. $4, number 40 for the vintage box of chalk. Yeah, gritty grit. I see your point. So, okay, now you saw these little guys, I think, in one of the videos. It does say Japan on the bottom. These cute little guys. I like the dark spots on the one, and then the other one is all white. They don't have any chips. Now, their tails are strange because I thought this tail was broken off, but it's all glazed over top. And then that side, the tail's kind of stubby too. It does have Japan on the bottom. So these guys are, because remember, and they do have, and it's hard to see. Does that say something besides made in Japan? Wait a minute. Well, I think they tried to put some kind of maker's mark on the back, but they failed. But right here, it has made in Japan impressed in it. Now, remember, some of these things are going to be a little bit higher because I did pay for them at the antique mall. So I do have to up the price a little bit to make it worth it. But these guys are so adorable. I think they're both just little spaniel puppies. And the little pair is $5 and it's number 26. $5, number 26 for the two little spaniel puppies. And I would say, looking at how this was made, this was probably a little prize giveaway, probably from the 30s or 40s. So, okay. Oh, Rebecca. Okay. If I could spell right, 2 C's in Rebecca. You'd think I'd know that because one of my nieces is named Rebecca. Okay, now this is an unusual thing, and I thought I don't usually have jewelry for you guys yet, but I found this today, and I thought, you know, I'm just going to see. One of the things I had spent a long time selling off this artist-created jewelry, and you can see that it's all art glass kind of beads that have that little stuff in them. Basically, there's little glass chips in these. And then these seem to be white glass. It has a barrel clasp that untwists. And there are a pair of earrings, but the earrings are clips, but because they're dangles, you could get them put on hoops. You could do it yourself very easily. Now, I don't think these red beads came from Venice, but knowing my aunt, she made a ton of jewelry. It is possible that these beads came from when they lived there. They lived all over the world, and she spent her retirement making cool looking jewelry. So even if you want it just for the beads, it's certainly worth the $8. It's how long is this sucker? It's long. So it's 22 inches long. It's a 22-inch long necklace. And it's $8 and it's what is the number? Number 36. If anyone is interested, you get the earrings and the necklace. It's all art glass beads. It's $8. It's number 36. I thought this was cool too. Now they have the screw back, but they also are a hinge. Never seen ones like that before. Lavish Mango. Yeah, when we emptied June's house, man, oh man, we opened up one of the spare bedroom closets, and I kid you not, it was little jewelry boxes, floor to ceiling of a closet, all handmade stuff that she'd done. They lived in Scotland. They lived in Iran when it was still the Shah of Iran in the 70s. They were in Florida when my cousin was born. They went to Venice, and then when they had a chance to, she and her husband had a chance to go to China briefly, they sent the kids home to Pennsylvania to stay with grandma and grandpa because they were not taking the children into China. They were all over the place. Okay. I did one of these a long while ago, but I have another one. I found another one. It's a vintage TV tray with the strawberries. It does not have a maker's mark. College debt. What did she do for a living? Well, before she got married, she was an airline stewardess for American Airlines back when it was right after the war and they were using converted B-52 bombers. I have sold a lot of American Airlines paperwork because she kept everything. I may still have stacks of old flight logs with the pilot's name on it. She kept everything. And I know there's still more early, and she did that for about 10 years before she finally got married. But then once she got married, she didn't, it was 1950s housewife. You didn't work. But her husband was military, and then he used to go negotiate drilling rights in foreign countries. But he still was he was a test pilot also for the military early on. So they were all over the place. So she was a housewife, but that's where I have some cookbooks from her still too, I think. But anyway, we have this lovely strawberry tray. It is in great shape. There's no rust. There's no dents. There's no scratches. It's, as near as I can tell, is not a reproduction, because the reproduction, there's stuff with the back that the reproduction ones have, and usually they have, like, on this rim, there'll be a date and something. So we have this lovely TV tray. It's an offer up. It is an, and Katie, are you going to time tonight? Katie usually does the timing. And Angela and Diana are usually on Troll Patrol. So we need a patch for you guys, like an official patch that says Troll Patrol. Aw, thank you, Vintagerous. So, okay, so Katie's gonna time, and we're gonna start this at $6. So as soon as you see Katie start it with her little racing flags, because I go by Katie's time, because my filming and what you see is about a 15-second delay. which is why I can't go ahead and say start or finish or whatever, because the time delay is too much. So as soon as Katie's ready to go, we're going to go. Starting at $6. You see what I mean about this delay? I haven't seen a start yet, but she'll get there. There it goes. Now you guys can kind of see what I mean about the time delay. It's gorgeous though, isn't it? There's no marks. I can see in the light, I can see a spot right there where you can't even, there's no paint missing, but you could just see this little rough spot like something's going to start. But it is great to find these TV trays. And they look so good hanging on a wall. I mean, I know Katie has all those Coca-Cola ones, but you know, there are cool ones out there for those that just want to have something really neat hanging on the wall that aren't necessarily Coca-Cola related. So we're up to 8, I see. I see an 8 for Sharon. And yes, Angela does a live chat on Sundays before Thrift You. Sometimes she has a guest, sometimes she doesn't. Okay. I see. Now Katie will let me know. I think it's Sharon C for 8, I think. Terry, I think you came in after the stop. At least on my screen you have. Sharon C for 8. Okay. Now, let's get to, what do we got here? This one, and this one. Let's do some of these that you guys saw last week. So we have fun to do handicrafts. Now, this is the one that has all the handicrafts. It's loaded with things you can do, but it doesn't necessarily have the best pictures. It's got all these little line drawings. Is my sweater homemade? No. No, this sweater is not homemade. I don't have any more sweaters that are homemade. I don't have that many sweaters, which is why you guys have seen me in, I think, the 3 that I know I still own. You've used vintage trays in the fridge. Well, it is a colorful surprise then. So this is in great shape. I mean, there's still a shine to the cover. What's the year? It's from Grand Rapids, Michigan, Zondervan Publishing House. For juniors and junior high, 9 to 15. I guess that's the age. This is the 6th printing from 1966. The original copyright, the original printing was 1957. So they went through a lot of printings of this thing. But it's got a general handicraft content, and then it's got a topical list, which is huge. So this one is, it's $5. Because these kind of books don't do as well necessarily as the vintage coloring books, but it's $5. It's number 3. It's just $5, number 3, for the fun to do handicrafts. We'll set that one there. Okay. Gabrielle Lish, is that the name? And Ventura, California. Oh, cool. Welcome. I have a brother in California. Yeah, it would be good for homeschool. I wish I'd found that book when I was homeschooling Michael. It would have been helpful. Now we have another one. This is a little bit more what people like. So that cover, this guy, this creepy looking guy. This is a 1964 Whitman book called Activity Fun. And this one has all kinds of stuff. I mean, it has like this one, you have to find 14 hidden hearts on this one. It's got all kinds of coloring things. It's got things you could cut out to make a tree. Vintage Viking treasures. Yes, please. If you could shoot me an email that lets me know your PayPal and your address and your actual name for your shipping address. And my email is right there in the corner of the screen. So you can just shoot me an email and then you're all set to go. This one is $6 for the Activity Fun, and it's number 11. $6, number 11. Thank you, Katie. Reclaim treasures. There are, I mean, those of you who were at the unboxing last week, we went through a stack of vintage coloring books. So there's going to have to be some in every sale. Now we have simple objects. Now, some coloring books I may put up, especially as we get to the older ones. Oh, there's Christy. We may get to where we're doing them as offer ups, because I understand there is a serious collector's market for coloring books. Some of the ones that I'm doing as a buy it now are either activity books or like this one, they have an issue. This one is from Whitman Publishing, because we all know Whitman. Whitman did a ton of stuff. It's from 1960, Simple Objects Coloring Book. That is not colored in. That is printed with those colors. The reason why is that in the beginning of the book, a lot of them have a color picture, and then you're supposed to match the colors. But as you can see, this one, they cut out the colored picture of the bird on the nest. So it has that flaw. And I didn't find any others. I don't think I found any in this one. I usually would have marked it. It's mostly the one in the beginning. Oh, elves. Look, pixies. I didn't know there were pixies in here. There's pixies. So this one, because condition is everything for a vintage coloring book. So this one is just $5 and it's number 25. $5, number 25. And Reclaim Treasures by Mary. Okay. Christy's here. All right, I'm going to jump numbers here to this one because I know there have been a couple people looking for these, and I specifically wanted to make sure I wasn't going to put it up there unless I knew Tippy Winks Vintage was here, because I wanted to give her a fair shot. It is an offer up. It is made by Napco. It has its Napco numbers on the bottom. It is N3686 on the bottom. And I found out that they made 3 different poses. And this is only one of them. But this little guy, look at that face. Doesn't he look adorable? Doesn't he just look so cute? And I'm not a baby person, but he's adorable. Now, he's a bisque finish. Come on, sticker. He's a bisque finish all the way around. There's no scratches. There's no loss to the paint. here's the weird part. His mouth, his eyes, and this little bit of hair up here are actually glazed. And he's not very big I mean, most piano babies are meant to be bigger, but he's not quite 3¼ inches tall, but he does have his mark on the bottom for the number. And I did look him up. He is Napco wear. So he is an offer up, and he is starting at $7. He is something that I got from the antique mall. So I figure if I get at least 7, then I will have, broken even. Because he was, I think, 5. His eyes, I'm trying to figure out the color of his eyes. So he's got these huge dark pupils. And as soon as Katie puts in the start, we're going to start the bidding at $7. It was bidding. Not supposed to say that in Pennsylvania. Start the offer up at $7. He's absolutely adorable. And his eyes are interesting. He's got 3 tiny little lashes. He's got dark eyeliner across the top. And he's got this really dark black pupil. But what should be the whites of the eyes are a very, very pale blue. I just love that open little mouth. Does he have teeth? No, he doesn't have teeth. They did a beautiful job with the mouth. It's not easy to put good lips onto an open mouth on a little figurine. But there we go. He's starting at 7. He has all his tiny little fingers. Is it going to focus? I can't tell if it's really focusing on him or not. But the fingers stick out. Can you see that his fingers actually have some space in between each finger? His thumb sticks out. They're just so adorable. Whoever made this one did a really, really good job. He's really absolutely adorable. So I see a stop. Who got him, Katie? Who got him? Catherine. I figured it was going to be either you or Christy. I did think it was going to be one of you two. So let's see. Now that jumped us ahead. So let's do. This is a hand-painted piece. It also, from what I could see on the back, looks like it was handmade as well and hand-turned, but it's a neat little wooden plate. There is a little wear to the paint on the edge there and some little dings, like there's a little ding there. There's these little dings too, which look almost like a thumbtack went in there, except the paint is down in there. What am I whisking? What am I drinking? It's called Highland. It's a Scottish whiskey. I like my Scottish stuff. There is a penciled mark up here, well, right under that finger, where the original price had been from somebody. But all that paintwork is all hand painted. It's a really pretty little saucer thing. And I'm drinking whiskey and Sprite because it's been yesterday was a really bad. So this is 7 inches wide. It's really just so pretty. And it is hand painted. It's an older piece. And I've lost my number. It is $6. It is number 31 for the hand painted piece. It's a beautiful little piece. $6, number 31. Terry. Terry, I keep wanting to misspell your last name because one of my Boy Scouts, the last name was Candelora. Spelled the same way until you get to the A on the end instead of an O. Now, I have, and you know, normally Christmas and Valentine stuff I do is offer ups, but I don't have that many. I did find these two animal ones, vintage Christmas. They do have writing on the inside. I love the elephant. It's got a little picture on the inside. Was used. There is a little pencil on the back of both of them that have a price on them. And I know that the animal ones, oh, this one has something I didn't notice before. There's a little tear right there. Well, that's going to change the price. That's definitely going to change the price. Well, we're lowering that to that. So I know that these are the ones that usually everybody wants, the animal ones for journaling and everything. And vintage Christmas is not easy to come by. This one says made in the USA. This one says Hallmark. There's a tiny, tiny little thing. It's tiny little thing on the back. That teeny little mark. That's the union label for lithographers. How cool. Took a magnifier for like a jeweler's loupe to see it. So these are going to be $6 for the pair, and it's number 10. $6, number 10. Hello, Maria, eclectic thrifter. It's hard for me to catch as everybody comes in. Oh, Serendipity's here. Second part of living. Second part of living. Did you send me an email with your information? Because I don't recognize the name. I'll double check here. Let me quick check. There's Attic Avenue. All right. Okay, because we need all the usual stuff, second part of living. We need the PayPal email, my name, your name and address. And it helps if you put what name you go by in the chats as well. Now, here's another set of vintage, but this is Valentine stuff. I know we're a little late for that. But there is this gorgeous cat. Now, they call this a color card. It says color card on the back. Well, it's color card because you were given a picture that you could color in. And it says, I colored this for you, mother. And then, so somebody named Vicky colored it in for mommy, which is really cute. So there's that one. There's this one, which has 2 thumbtack holes in the top. And it's just a little Valentine to say hello, but she's so cute, little birdie. I have to take them out of the little bags because now I remember having ones like this as a kid. These are the kind. Now this one I think is a little older, and it is written on the back. But we have that one. And I think this one is more from the 70s. The kind we used to have to give out to all the kids in school. So you have the 4 of these. You have the 4 of these for $10. And it's number 29. $10, number 29 for the 4 vintage valentines. Hang on. And that's Vintage Viking. There we go. I had to check my emails. Belinda, the ones before were second part of living. And I did get their email. They did register with me. So were there no takers for the... I do have it now, second part of living. So it was $10 for number 29 for the 4 vintage valentines. There's no takers for that. We'll sit that there. We'll sit that there. Okay, now this one, I have a feeling Katie might want to go after this one. Katie, if you need to have somebody else, if you need to have somebody else time for you, just let me know. So this is Franklin glue. It's a vintage can. Now, it's still got the glue in it. So whoever gets this, you need to let me know if you want me to very carefully take a can opener and open the bottom and get that glue out of there, because it's rusty crusty, as Katie likes to say, and you don't want to have this ever pop and rust open and have the glue come out, because it is full of glue. But there's no way. The lid is dented down on this side and it's rusted fast. There's no way I can get it open to drain the glue out. So this is going to be an offer up for those who like, their tins or who like the graphics. And I did find out Franklin glue is still in existence, but this is liquid hide glue. This is older. This is probably no later than, from near as I could find out, in the late 50s, they changed the label. So this has to be from before. Well, the one I could find was 1957 that changed the label. So it has to be from before 1957. That's as close as I could date this thing. So we're going to start the offer up at $5 for this. And Katie, do you need somebody else to do the timing for you? Because odds are you probably want to bid. Offer. You want to offer. Get myself in trouble tonight. I don't know. Hide glue. If hide glue is anything like horse glue, it stinks to high heaven. So I don't know. Okay. So Angela, are you going to time? I thought so. I thought Katie would want to go after this. But I don't know. I don't know who else in our community is into these great old tins. So, okay. Angela says she can do it. Okay. So Angela, as soon as you want to start the timer, we're starting offer is $5 for the Franklin glue. Yes. Yeah. I remember building stage sets with horse glue, or you would call it hide glue. And it was this special little pot that you had to plug in because they had to warm it up in order to get it to melt and it stank to high heaven. But and you would use it to glue the ends, the sides down. So you glue the edges of the canvas down when making stage flats. And this stuff just stank so badly. So, okay, so we have a one bid for 5, which is Katie. Not at all surprised, darling. This is a great vintage piece. It even has all the write-up on the back, and no glue is spilled on it, so you can read all of the write-up on the back. It has directions that if the glue is thick or chilled, place container in warm water until the glue flows freely. So I would bet this is the same thing as the horse glue, that this is definitely that smelly kind of hide. They're calling it hide glue, but yeah, it's that stuff you have to heat up and melt to use. But wow. It's a great, interesting piece. But the graphic, though, the graphic is what always got me. I thought it was great. And I never would have found this if George hadn't challenged me to show my basement. Being that it was an old house he wanted to see, and he challenged me, and I found it then. I found it down there then, and have no, it could have come from my grandfather's basement or my great grandfather for all I know. So who have we got here? Wow, Katie really wanted it, didn't she? Katie, did you outbid yourself? Oh, wow. All right. So what's your top one? 7? Okay. Katie for 7. And we can thank Professor Uncle George, because I didn't know anything was down there until he got me really looking when I did that basement video. And I found that, and I was like, that's too good a label to end up in the trash. It's too good of a tin. Oh, okay, where are we now here? We did the Napco, baby. Okay, we have another little set of puppies. I can find them here. And everybody wants Katie. Okay, so who just registered? Tina Hendricks, sorry. Vintage Digs. And Diane. Awesome. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So for those of you who are new here and wonder about Warehouse 13 behind me, I inherited 3 estates worth of stuff. And I also still shop for stuff, because sometimes I find, like last week, all I find are boxes of books to go through. And you guys don't want a sale that's nothing but books. So some of this is stuff I found from here, from the 3 estates I inherited. Some of it is stuff that I was at an antique mall, and my 2 videos on those are there. Our challenge is the fact that we're working through, we all have an overabundance of stuff, and we're all going to work through it together. And you guys get to see the progress I make on trying to empty a 10-room house. This is not something that came from the house. I picked these guys up at the antique mall. Aren't they adorable? Now, I couldn't figure out why they were facing the opposite way. Well, it's because they're exactly the same. But they are chained together, which is odd. And they do have, I don't know if you guys can see it on the back. It does say Japan on the back of these little guys. There was no mama. It was just these 2. But they are made with that little hole. So it was just these 2, and I did not find any mama together with them. So they're two little babies. They are $4 and they're number 12 for the two little babies. $4, number 12. They are so cute. They kind of look like that face. I think they're pugs. I mean, they kind of have that look. Doesn't that look like a pug face? But they are $4 and they're number 12. Yeah, they are kind of like twins, aren't they? Oh, Judy Reardon, you got the reference, right? Warehouse 13? I wasn't sure because they just are so little, and I wasn't sure if they were a bulldog or a pug. But they have that. Well, they might be French bulldogs. And there is a slight difference between French bulldogs and American bulldogs, or British bulldogs is what we usually see, British bulldogs. And I've actually sold stuff that had French bulldogs on it and gotten crazy, crazy money. I had somebody in France buy something in the earlier days of eBay, and it was a porcelain French bulldog about that high. Now, they paid me $176 for this thing. But then they wanted it air express mailed. So it cost $168 to do. I mean, they wanted it like practically overnight. It cost them almost as much to pay for the item as it was to ship the item. It was crazy. But they wanted it. They wanted it, and they paid for it. So, all right. So we have no takers on the little pups. Now, let's see. We have... Come here, you. We have another little pup, and he is a little pup ashtray. Now, he might have been part of a bridge set because you can find these a lot. There's some sticker residue there. You can find, I found several that were this exact same layout. Another one had a dog, one had a donkey, one had a creepy old clown on it. So I think the company, they made the base, and then I guess they made, now he looks like he's all one piece, but they all had this same exact layout for the cards and were about the same size and all had the same kind of back. It says made in Japan here, but it also has it impressed here. So he's such a cute little thing, but he is from the antique mall. He's absolutely adorable. And he is $6, and he's number 23. $6, number 23. And I kind of wonder if ones like this aren't made to be bridge sets. I think they're great little dishes for when you take your earrings out at the end of the night before you go to bed and just sit in your earrings in these. Jewel tea. What's on the pup's head? He has a weird little spot of gold. So it's hard to see, but these little lines are gold. And then there's a little puppy birthmark in gold right on his little head. So the first one I'm seeing is Jewel tea for the little pup ashtray. That is a cute one, isn't it? Now we have this, and I had real trouble with this because I couldn't figure out a price because Floral Frog prices are all over the place. And this one has feet. It actually, I don't know if you guys can see it. There's one. It actually has these tiny little feet. I've not seen one with feet before, but it has 3 feet. Now there is a little chip, little tiny chippy chip right there. And that's all that's wrong with it. There's no chips on this side. But I was trying to figure out a price. Yeah, I've never, ever seen one with feet. And I really was having trouble here trying to figure out the price for this thing. So, because on eBay, I couldn't find any other ones with price. I tried using What It's Worth, which is an app I tend to use, and I couldn't find anything with feet. None of them had feet. So, I don't know. Should I, is there enough? It's not pink. It's not pink. I think it looks kind of pink because you got this purple in the background. It is just clear glass. It's not pink. I don't know if it glows. I don't have I did order a blacklight flashlight. It has not arrived yet. But yeah, I mean, it's got these tiny little feet. Can you see it there? I don't know if I can get it. Like, there's this little nub of a foot there. There's a little nub of a foot there. And I could see, I see another chip, but these kind of chips are not uncommon. So when they make these, there's often glass on this side is often rough, and then they poke a piece of metal through to get it to open. And this one chipped a little bit on the opening. That's not uncommon at all, though, for the bottoms of these things. But it just has, it has here, here, and here, just this little teeny tiny little, I don't know how to get it to show, little feet, just teeny little feet. Yeah, so, yeah, and see, I've never seen one with feet before. I tried researching it too. I couldn't find one with feet. I'm gonna friggin' sneeze. So I didn't know whether to offer it up or to just give you a price. Yeah, because I don't know if it'd be Vaseline glass or not. Sorry, guys. Offer it up. All right. So we'll do an offer up. Now, I know what I paid for. I went ahead and paid for it, and antique malls don't have my kind of prices usually. But I would need to start this. I would need to start this at 7 to do an offer up. But it is in really good shape. So if Katie can time, we'll do this as an offer up, and has to start at 7. Because you figure when I buy something for 5, I've still got to pay state sales tax because I don't have a reseller's license. Plus it's a over half hour's drive to and from. So even at 7, it'd be breaking even. So we're going to start it at 7 and do it as an offer up. It is 3 1/4 inches across. But it really is cool. It's really good. I like that there's this little ridge. There's a little rim to this one. So it's great. Did we lose? There's Katie. There we go. Start at 7. But it's really pretty. It's really in good shape. There's, like I said, there's no chips to the top at all. And there's this nice little, can you see it there? That how there's this rim around. So it's kind of got a slight mushroom, like a mushroom cap to it. But it's really, really cool. And it's nice having the feet because then, the water can get underneath it too. I think that would be more helpful than ones that just fit flat to the bottom. But they are nice and deep kind of holes. So you want to see how the holes are. Is like the whole tip of the pen disappears in there. So it is kind of tall. I mean, you're losing, that's what, about an inch that goes down in the center one, and probably 3/4 of an inch into the sides. So it goes down pretty well. You put its number back on it. I see 2 of them for 7. Move that out of the way. I think. Oh. Put the wrong number back on it. There we go. Put that number on there. Who were you? Well, you were the glue. Put that on there. 7 to Diane. And I do have an email from her. Okay. Let's see. Where are we? Let's do some more coloring books. Where's my number? There's my number. Take my number off. All right. Now, it's a fun pad. I do have 2. So the first 2 people will get these. Now, they each have the same flaw. They have a name written up here. But other than that, I don't really think there was anything. Well, there's a page there that has some things circled. Whoops, on that page. But nothing colored in. And then the other one, it says Marshall. We'll double check and then I forgot. It's been that kind of 2 days, Brain like a steel sieve the last 24 hours. Yeah, there's nothing on that one either. So what I will do is I will take the first 2 people. You'll each get 1. So these are from my age. These are from my generation because these are from the 70s. We had the date when we were looking them up. These are from 1976. Ayers and James, printed in the USA. But it's funny because the company that printed them, it says published by Prestige Books in New York, but the address it gives is New South Wales, Australia. So we have these great fun pad coloring books, which are from the 70s, 1976. And these are $6. $6, number 9. And remember, this is just for 1. I will take the first 2 people for the vintage 1970s coloring books, because that's what fun pads were. Is they were a coloring book all the way through, but with games. So I see Lynn C. Or no, Sharon C. Is there anybody else who wanted one? Number 9. They were $6. Number 9, because there's still 1 more. Okay. Upload a video of her enjoying her grape. Is that the little fuzzy, what did you call it? You had dumpling. Isn't that it's a hamster? Hey, Philly Flipper. Philly Flipper has a neat channel. He buys storage units and then finds out all kinds of stuff. we're going to get together at some point when we get rid of this crappy weather. Because, you know, I'm really kind of sick of this ice bit. Let's see, where are we? Let's see. We have this guy. Now, this one's being offered primarily because it's such great graphics, and it's being offered for junk journaling because the glue is snapped. So a lot of pages are, you know, what happens is this, what they say is the spine breaks, and it basically means the glue spine has cracked. And then when that happens, pages start falling out. But look at the graphics. The colors in this are fantastic, and it's all birds. And you have heron, you have shorebirds. You had some games with those. Now that's a meadowlark, and you've got some loose pages in the front. You have robins, the life cycle of robins, and what they eat. That's another loose page. I like that border. That border could work really well for junk journaling. But the whole thing is full of great birds. It's the Adventures with Birds is the book. And it really is being sold for those who want to do decoupage or junk journaling with the images in there. Because as a book, the spine is cracked. So you're getting the great pictures. And it is just $4 number 6 for these lovely bird graphics. $4 number 6. And I see Reclaimed Treasures. And I used to do a lot of decoupage stuff for craft shows, but I don't have the time. I don't have the space anymore. And at this point, I don't know when there's going to be craft shows again. So I'd rather pass some stuff on along. So let's see here. We have a couple more. We'll do these 3. Because you saw these last week. Or no, you saw these. Well, you saw these 2 in the live haul. Or not in the live haul. In the haul video. Now, Patsy Ann was one of the King books. Now, the Kings were a couple that he took the photographs, and the wife would write a story up about what was in the photographs. And Patsy Ann was this one particular doll. Now, the Patsy Ann books do have, and the Kings themselves, the photographer was G. Allen King, and Mona Reed King was the writer. Now, this one is dated, did I write down the date? Nope. 1936. So these are the kind of books that my mother, who was born in 1929, would have grown up with. I have sold one of these before. They can do really well. The problem with this one is that it had been, you know, written on the end papers at the front. And it also had some writing in the back. Now, what got me in the back and in the front, it says book number 13, Library of, and I thought it was an ex-library book. And then I realized that this ink and this label name up here, the name matches. So whoever it was, this Suzanne Heckman, created her own little library, and I suspect she might have been a teacher, because back in the day, teachers would make up their own little library in the classroom. She's even doing little tiny washing with a little tiny roller on there. So Patsy Ann here is, this 1930s kids book. It's $9, number 21. $9, number 21. The Kings were the only ones I knew who did these particular things where they would use dolls for the images. Jewel T. Okay. Yeah, isn't it neat? It was a neat book. Now, this is another one. Now, this one is Dolly and Molly and the Farmer Man. This one's from 1914. I do like the cover, and somebody spilled some ink back in the day on the cover, unfortunately. But they have pictures by Francis Beam. But what I love is, okay, so you've got this great little picture on the title page. But even on the next two pages, you have these wonderful tiny images. These lovely little pen and ink drawings are throughout the book. And then, of course, you have the pictures over here. Now, stuff from the 30s that I've seen in the early 1900s, they often only did one color or maybe two in a book, in the printings. You don't see full color pictures in those early books. Now, this does have a little bit of a flaw in that there is a ripped page here. And there is a slight tear there. And this one, it does cut the corner of the print. So it does have that problem. I particularly, and those of you that know I collect fairies, I particularly like that picture. I do like that one. Hi, Doggone Happy. So this one, which again is just absolutely wonderful pictures from 1914. My house would have been 3 years old when this was printed. So because of the tear and because of the ink spill, this one's only $7. So it's $7, number 28. $7, number 28 for a book from 1914. And those pictures are just wonderful. Doggone Happy. Okay. Oh dear. 72 watching and 45 thumbs up. And I didn't thumbs up my own channel. What? Wait, what? Not a bib, not a bid? What? You're confusing me. Don't do that. It's too easy to confuse me today, you know? I didn't sleep well last night for understandable reasons. It's never good when you have to put, when you have to take care of a fur baby like that. So, I heart old things. Hi, hon. Hello. Haven't seen you in a while. All right, we'll do this one, then we're going to do another offer up. We have the Ladybird Book of Knitting. Now, these Ladybird books are from Britain, and they are kind of like their version of Golden Books, but they're a little bit better quality in a way. They're always a hardback. They're not glue bound. They're always thread binding. So they tend to last longer. But it's got, and I have to admit, I've made that clutch purse. They make it small as a change purse, but I've actually knitted clutch purse and sold them years ago when I was still in my teens. You can even make mom a pin cushion. But it not only teaches you the basics of knitting, and with great graphics, it gives you all these wonderful ideas of what you can do. So the Ladybird Knitting book is $5 and it's number 19. It's $5, number 19. If you want to teach one of your grandchildren to knit, please do. Don't let this become a lost art. But it like so many other things have, $5, number 19. A 5 hour. Oh, I could not do a 5 hour sale. And I see Nettie for that one. Okay, now we're gonna do this one as an offer up, because this is the one that's from 1902, and this one is printed more like the ones from the late 1800s are. It has that rag paper that tends to be very brittle, but all the pages are in good shape. It has all the line drawing illustrations. It goes through Pet's ABC book, and it goes through with all these wonderful S's for C. What horses are we? Never mind if we do. Take a tumble. It's hard to read sideways. So the whole thing is a poem to get through. It's very pretty. It's really nice. The only thing wrong with it is the boards. So the boards are the hard cover, and you can see where there's wear along the edges. The corners have rounded. Both corners have rounded, what they call rounding off, and it's broken through the outer paper. Not surprising for a book this old. And this is, from what I could find out, this is most likely a reprint of a earlier 1800s book. But there's a thing in the back about disappointment and explaining that to children. It's just really, really cool. So this is going to be an offer up, and we're going to start it at 7 and do this as an offer up. And I'll keep showing you some of the cool stuff. There's one in the, I don't know what the little boy with the dog is, but the grandma with the granddaughter is in there. So there we go. Katie has started it there's the little flags. But the grandmother says, it says, a reason. A goose, my grandam one day said, entering a barn, pops down his head. I begged her then the cause to show. She told me she must waive the task, for nothing but a goose would ask what nothing but a goose could know. Just never know what odd little things. Now let's see. How the morning comes. Creeping, creeping, daintily peeping, haste the light through the window to see where lies the little girl with the sleepy eyes. Glistens bright with very joy to find the place where lies her dreaming face. So they were very big on poetry back then. Look at the heron. Oh, it says drawing lesson. So this underneath here, that says drawing lesson. So I guess you were meant to draw that, because I know drawing was a big thing all through the 1800s. You were expected to learn basic drawing, but they're all simple pen and ink, but there's just such a lovely book. It really is such a nice one. So where are we at here? Judy, 4:25. It is getting harder and harder, of course, to find those really early kids books because, of course, and they're 100 years old now. It's getting a lot harder. And the cover did its job. The cover may have issues, but the inside pages are in great shape. It really did his job. to protect the inside of it. Now let's see. This one has issues. So Wonderful Cookie is not going to be an offer up. I'll just name a price. Now he's got a lot of wear. Now, if you find this one in good shape, put it on eBay if you don't want to keep it. But this one has, and it's the cover, I think, that really makes a difference. For the ones on eBay that I saw with good prices, the covers were almost intact because all this is gold. He's really, really very worn. Somebody really loved this book. It's from 1899. But it's got dirt and soiling and smudges all on the end paper there. It's got come on, there's an awful lot of blanks on the back. You can see the same thing here on the back. Now, I didn't find any watermarks, which is good. Water and paper, not a good thing, but somebody went through in pencil and they numbered the tops of every page. It's really little handwriting you could tell it's a little kid just from the way it looks. There's a lot of pages in the back that are all ads for the Werner Company's publications. But I wouldn't, in a kid's book, expect some of these books to be advertised. Why are you advertising a book called The Determination of Sex in the back of a kid's book? I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. That's just wrong. Conquering the Wilderness, Boys of the Bible. I get all home occupations for little children. I get all of that. But the other one is by Leopold Schenk, MD, professor of embryology of the Royal and Imperial University of Vienna. And it's just like, what are you thinking? What are you doing? But I'm trying to find some of the pages. Now, this story is called The Maid of Norway. But like you can see all these smudges and little fingerprints and smudges. The pages are not what they will call clean copy. You can see where they got some little dirt thing there. So it's, from the point of view of somebody who has sold books a lot, is that this is definitely what they would consider a secondary unclean copy. But I mean, it does still have great pictures. The binding is still tight, which is amazing. The little goose queen on her throne is still great. It's still got some cute stories in it. There's the beginning of the little goose girl story. Yeah, it is a bit much for kids reading a cookie book. But from all those little scribbles that are everywhere. Now, this is the one spot where the spine is getting a little loose and you can see the threads in there. So, but no, the Wonderful Cookie is a storybook. It is actually, it's The Wonderful Cookie and Other Stories, illustrated. And it doesn't say by who it was written or who edited it or anything. And it was the Werner Company of Akron, Ohio in 1899. So this one, because of, I mean, it's great that it's 1899, but the condition that it's in. So this one is $8 and it's number 4. It's $8, number 4 for The Wonderful Cookie. Because, I mean, if it were in great shape, it would easily get triple that amount, but it's not. It is fun little stories, though. So doggone happy. Doggone happy. Okay. Put that there. Let's do this guy, because this is an offer up. This was in the antique store. It is a nice little tray. I guess it's probably for, you know, back in the day, somebody once told me that the waiter or waitress used to bring your bill on a tray. And I'm wondering if that's what this was for, because it doesn't have a lot of wear. So there's a little bit of wear. That's not smudging. That's blue coloring to make it look like a little background. So there's not a lot of wear to the handles. There's a little more wear on this side because it's very, very hard to see the lines right here of the golf clubs. But the image of these guys is great, of these golfers. It looks really good. And there's no rust. There's a little wear to the corner here. Tiny little bit to the corners there and there. But it's really a neat thing. And it looks like, I can kind of see paint lines. So I think these guys were hand done on there. I'm not 100% sure of that. It's very hard to tell. Yeah, well, if it's a golfers club, if they're at the clubhouse, that bar tab could get pretty long. They probably serve drinks on it, or it was meant to. So this is going to be an offer up. It is, wow, it's bigger than I thought. 12. It is 13.5 inches long. So yeah, 6 inches wide by 13.5 long. And it's an offer up. And we're going to start this. I had to pay up for it to get it. So we're going to start this at $10. But it really is a great tray. And even this, the handles, they curl under nice and neat. So you can get like a good grip on the side. But it's just such a great mid-century modern, wonderful mid-century modern little tray. That happens to be golfers. Very 1950s. So it's an offer up, and we're starting it at $10. But that is a great, great piece. So do we need a timer? It does have a little bit of that beatnik kind of look into the 60s. I couldn't decide. Well, like, he kind of looks creepy. So as soon as Katie, yeah, maybe it had a stand at one time. There's our start. There we go. But it really is cool. I think that one guy's telling some yarn about how far from the hole he was when he putted in. Because they look kind of demoralized, yet this guy's chatting his head off. I know, there is a very bad lag between me and when you guys see it. And I don't know why, other than maybe the storm, because it's windy out here tonight. And that might be messing things up. But it's a great, great piece. Dobie Gillis. Man, that's slightly before my time, but I do know who he was. Does kind of have that Dobie Gillis look thing going on, doesn't it? But it is such a great tray. And I found this at that antique mall that I went to, and it's just such a great looking piece. And I thought, you know, I need to take that and see if anybody would like to have that, because it's so mid-century modern. It's so, so cool. So who have we got? He's what a narcissist looks like. Yeah. You didn't necessarily give your age away, because a lot of that stuff was on reruns on the UHF channels, which is how I know who Gidget is. and The Flying Nun and Hogan's Heroes. I loved Hogan's Heroes. Jewel T. Okay. See, even Dobie Gillis, I think, was. Yeah, see, Philly Flipper, you're too young to know what it was like when there just was Channel 3, Channel 6, Channel 10. And then there was Channel 12, which was public broadcasting. That was PBS. And that was all you had. And then they started with this thing called UHF, which was a whole different range of TV channels. So then you got a few more. And then came cable, where you got a lot more. I can remember when cable started and MTV used to actually show music videos, because that's all it was. Oh, Diane, you can remember them all originally. So can my older siblings. I can't. I didn't come along till 1965. So, I wanted to make sure I did this tonight too. This is gorgeous. This is the orchid pin. Now, it doesn't have a maker's name. It just has the rivet holding the back on. But it is beautiful. Lovely light-colored lavender and purple enameling. And it is very pretty. It's an offer up. Okay, this is going to be another one, because this is another thing I picked up at the antique mall, solely with the idea that, you know what, we're all disgusted with winter and we want to have the brooch come back and we want pretty stuff for the spring. So if you guys, this is an offer up. It is a great piece. There's not a scratch to that enamel painting. It is an offer up. It starts at 10. Yeah, I mean, it is a great, you're right, Annie K. If you really are allergic to flowers, then this is a great way to have some. And it's big too. I mean, look at the size of this thing. So, the remote was the child. Do you not remember that? We were the remotes. So as soon as we get the timer going, it's an offer up, but it's starting at 10, because I did have to pay up to get this one, because, you know, finding brooches this big is not easy. Absolutely lovely. And the back, there's no scratching on the back. The back is nice and shiny, but there is no maker's mark. Did we have a start yet? I see bids coming in, but I don't know that we had a timer start. Okay, well, I see it up to 16. And the lag is so bad. So we're up to 20. We're up to 20, and it's a beautiful iris. Absolutely beautiful iris. And yeah, really. Now remember, if you're out, if you decide it's gotten too high, just type in out, okay? And you'll be good. So, oh, Catherine fell at 21. Precious Lavender, 25. Wow. I think we're at 25 with Catherine. Iris is out. Belinda's out. Precious Lavender. Precious Lavender, I think it's between you and Catherine. Are you still in, dear? Okay, so then Catherine, dear, I believe you are the one. Catherine fell for 25. I just knew that this would be gorgeous, and I mean, it's a stunning little piece. And I will be very careful how I pack that up, because some of us saw on was it Michelle on Comfy Cozying, she had a pin where the back came off on her during her sale, and she just was heartbroken. But it's because it is just a little rivet, so I will make sure I am very careful with how I pack that. So now let's see. Man, we have just been cranking all through all this stuff. Oh. So let's see. We have, yeah, the buffering is really bad. I know that from what I'm seeing to what you're seeing is at least 10 seconds from what I'm saying and filming to when you're seeing it, because I have my laptop so I can read the chat easier. Oh yeah, it would look pretty, but I'm not big on orchids. I grow, see, it would look good on here. I'm just not big on orchids. I do grow German bearded iris, though. I have quite a few different colors. We are going to do the cookbooks next, because we have a stack of cookbooks. So, except I need to go do a potty break. So if anybody needs to go take a potty break, now's the time. And then all these cookbooks, because I have gotten so many emails and messages about these cookbooks that I showed you guys last week that we're pretty much going to have to offer up every one of them. I couldn't think of any other way that would be more fair to everybody to have a chance, because so many people have an interest in these cookbooks. So we're going to take a quick break because, you know, Mother Nature calls. Be right back, guys. I got a tea. God, I can't see anything. Okay. Okay, is everybody back? Had to have a Mother Nature break. Oh yeah, the TV used to go out. They'd play the national anthem. You might see a flag waving in the breeze, and then you'd get that that high-pitched dee noise, and you'd just get snow. I remember that. Oh. 2008. Uh-oh. What did Philly Flipper say about 2008? Iris, if you graduated in 89, honey, you're a little bit younger than me. Angela oh, God, Angela, you're making me feel old now. Yeah, you guys are about the age of my son. You graduated in 2008. She graduated in 2004. He's 26 now. I graduated in 1984 at the age of 19. So, so we have one, two. Where's the fifth one? There's the fifth one. Okay. So we had some fun looking at these old cookbooks. But can I tell you the amount of messages I've gotten and emails I've gotten about these cookbooks? And I had said that night that they would be in tonight's sale. So honestly, the only fair way I can think to do this is to just let you guys decide the value by doing it as an offer up. Just because they're just the amount of interest for these things just exploded. So we're going to start with the little thin carnation one. The carnation evaporated milk. With all these wonderful recipes for anything you could possibly want to make, from cakes and cookies, vegetables. As we do the offer up, I'm going to find out what vegetables they want. So we're going to start the offer for this one we're going to start the offer at this one at $5. And it's going to be an offer up just because it just seems to be the best way to do these, because the interest in them, like I said, just exploded. So Katie, are you there? You're ready? Good. So start this one and start it at $5. There we go. So I love the fact that there is a section for carnation. It's for carnation evaporated milk. It's got the image on the back. It has a section for vegetables. I was looking for a date. Did we ever find a date the other day? I don't think we did. And it's definitely older. It's all lithographed. There's an index in the back. 96 pages. Apparently to come. Oh, you could get the deluxe cookbook too if you mailed in things and asked, then paid them 20 cents. But they have vegetables can become monotonous, served the same way day after day. Here are some recipes for making these everyday standbys and old acquaintances into favorite specialties of the house. Now they have mashed potatoes, and I've heard about putting that in mashed potatoes, but velvet creamed spinach, putting carnation milk in your succotash, never known about that idea. They have leftovers, and they have a leftover recipe for a sandwich filling, which says peel, slice, and mash cold wieners. I'm sure they mean hot dogs. Mix with chopped pickles and eggless mayonnaise as a spread. Yeah. Precious Lavender for $7. Now, this one, I think this one might cause some fighting. It's the Little Irish Cookbook from Chronicle. Now, it does have a name in the top and a date, because I used to write in the date of when I bought it. Then I learned better. Don't write up your books. But this, other than that, this is in excellent condition. So this is another offer up. We're going to start this at $5. $5 is an offer up starting price. Sure, Angela, go for it. That's all right. I opened this up and I thought it said potato farts, but it says potato farls. Farls. I don't know what those are. So as soon as Katie gets us going, the Little Irish Cookbook be great for St. Patrick's Day. Or start the offers at $5. Has, of course, potato soup, mutton broth. You know, I found out that I have some ground lamb in the freezer, and I have no idea what to do with it. Now, there's one called a Dublin Lawyer, but apparently that is a lobster recipe. Lobster, and I love the fact that it's lobster with Jameson's. I love lobster, and I like Jameson's. I'd be right there for that. There's something called champ, which is another mashed potato thing. Corned beef and cabbage. Irish stew. They're all great little recipes. Apple tart, rhubarb full, which is kind of a desserty kind of thing. Gooseberry crumbs. Yeah, we all have gooseberries in our yard. Ha ha ha. If the birds don't eat them first. Something called porter cake, which porter's a beer in Ireland, isn't it? Porter cake? Yeah, porter is a type of dark Irish beer. Not as strong as stout. Murphy's or other Irish stout can be substituted if it's mixed 50-50 with water. So how do we do with that one? This one had 5 emails about this one, and there were 2 people in the chat last week. Helen Casey, have you sent me an email with your information? Because I don't recognize that name. Okay. I've never had gooseberry jam. Okay, who do I have emails from? I have Deborah Cooper and All in the Attic. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I'm shipping from the southeast corner of PA. Right now, no shipping's getting done because the roads aren't passable. Because last night was a lovely little ice storm. And now tonight, about 5 a.m., another one's rolling in. And my son went, "Oh, we'll go to the grocery store tomorrow." I'm like, "You do know we're getting more sleep tonight, right?" So let's do these 2. Now, this is the Colonial Cookbook from the Old Farmer's Almanac. Now, it's got some lamination issues, which I don't know if you guys will be able to see, where the lamination is puckering up. So the lamination on the back is starting to peel a little bit. There's a little crease there. But this one is from 1976, and it's part of my friend's collection of cookbooks that I inherited. Now, this one's great. It's got recipes in it that were, a lot of the recipes were from Mrs. Leeds' cookbook from London. Now, the one recipe from Mrs. Leeds' cheesecake, they have said was a cookbook published in 1662. And a lot of the recipes came from that. So there are some great, especially if you're in an area where you do a lot of hunting and can get things like pheasant and grouse. There are recipes for that in here. I have a great cookbook that a friend sent me from Nova Scotia, which actually has a recipe for bear in it. So this one is an offer up, and this one's going to start at $6. And we're going to do this one as an offer up. And like, here we go. Meats and poultry has calves' ears. So like it says in the beginning, some things you're going to see, you're not necessarily going to see somewhere else. Now they said some of the recipes may have things in them that didn't. They tried to make them all modern measurements when they did it. Is Philly misbehaving? He'll fit right in. Braised parsnips. I like parsnips. They get kind of sweet. They're great for throwing in the soup. Steak and kidney pie, ham fritters, cider baked ham. Roast suckling pig gets its own page. Salt pork. I don't know where you get salt pork. Now you have roast goose, pheasants in cream with apples. You have roasted woodcock. If that's made out of wood, never mind. You have partridge. You have pigeon, Cornish game hen or quail, a Cape Cod turkey, which is a codfish. So it's got some very interesting variations of some stuff. The rye pancakes still crack me up. Game hens. Aren't they the little tiny things? They're just like, itty bitty. They're just itty bitty. So that one was 6. To Melissa Lynn. Okay. You need a cookbook with all the menus for the places Uber Eats delivers. Well, I know DoorDash and Uber Eats do Wawa. And it's the bane of my existence at work, let me tell you. I did not see that kind of recipe in there. Okay, so the next one we have is the German and Viennese cookbook. And this has 68 pages. Now, I found the index interesting because the index is in German and in English. So it's got a lot of different things in here. Springerly cookies. I remember them. They could break your teeth off, but they were good. You'd have to soak them in milk or something to get them so you could chew them. So this is another one. It's going to start at 6. I love the image of the cover because it goes all the way around. And the girl, of course, is stuck helping mom in the kitchen while the boys are off playing with the dog, which is, of course, a little wiener dog. I've wanted cookies for months, Katie, but my oven's broken. This was the first Christmas we didn't have any homemade cookies. It's got marble cake and cheesecake and turban cake, dumplings. I've never heard of fish dumplings. I've never heard of that. Now, the cool part is it has the German name underneath what they're calling each one. So, and it's even got a basic beginner, like how to cook vegetables. Each one starts with a basic primer on how you do it. The inside centerfold has this nice color layout of some of the different dishes. And cooking, regional cooking is something that's disappearing because you can't find the cookbooks over here. You're finding all these cookbooks that come out and they've all been kind of Americanized where they really take away some of the nice specialty side of it. Like this, they have Wiener Schnitzel, but then they also have American style. Why would you need to make that American style? Why would you need to change that? I mean, I grew up having Wiener Schnitzel. It's so great to find these older cookbooks that are the regional or different country cooking, because they're far more accurate than what you're finding now. Because a lot of them I'm finding that are printed here in the States, they Americanize them too much. Reclaimed Treasures by 10. Okay. Now, all right, guys, now's the big one. Now's the cookbook from 1886, and it's big. I love Wiener Schnitzel too, and I see no reason to mess with the recipe saying it's American, and they took at least 4 ingredients out of it. That is just not going to taste as good. Da, 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 da. This is from 1886, Mrs. Rohr's cookbook. Now, it is from Arnold and Company, Philadelphia. There are people who collect books just because they are from the Arnold Company of Philadelphia. Now, this is, and it doesn't say it on the cover, it says it inside. This is specifically Mrs. Rohr's Philadelphia cookbook. So it's specifically to the region. Now you can see it does have a big issue here in that there is no end paper page, so that it has split, but it's still attached to the back cover. So you have to treat it gently. It says it is a manual of home economies. So we're starting the offer up at $10 for this. And let me tell you, to find a book this old in this shape is really amazing. Now, there are some pages where there's some little thing. This one is this is a submit your questions to the newspaper. And it says, I have an old cookbook by Mrs. Rohrer, who is listed as principal of Philadelphia Cooking School. When would this have been? And then it gives a little bit of a background on Mrs. Rohrer, that she started her career as a teacher in Philadelphia in 1881, and 3 years later established the Philadelphia School of Cookery, which she ran until 1902. It went on without her, but she was the principal and dean and head of faculty until then. So wow. But this is great, and it's got so many recipes. You've got whole sections on poultry and game. It's, like I said, it's really thick, and it's in other than, that was a piece of paper towel that just fell out. But other than the cover, now there's a recipe for mayonnaise, which I'll have to write out because I promised, I think it was Iris. There's a whole section on salads, on vegetables, bread, all kinds of bread, puddings and desserts. It's just fabulous. There's room for other recipes in there. You don't like raising in anything other than Raisin Bran? Misha Renee, you're new, dear. I would need to have you send me, I need to have you register. I need your email. I have Helen Casey here for the Irish cookbook. So Misha, you need to quick shoot me an email. I need your PayPal information. I need your shipping address, all that fun stuff. So we have it for 20. Okay. It's like I said, it's a pity about the cover because this is such a great cookbook, and these older ones are so much harder to find. So we have Misha, Renee, and we have her for. Yeah, you have to make sure you email me now. A lot of us resellers have had to go to registering because there have just become so many trolls that have been coming in and bidding and then never contacting us. We actually caught one that was changing their name every week and got rid of that one. Oh, now I lost the page with the mayonnaise. I'll find it in the morning and write that out. But I know I have a cookbook older than this that, well, I don't have it. My brother has it. That was our great-grandmother's grandmother's. And the way the recipes are written up will drive you crazy because they'll say a dash of this, a handful of that. Somebody mentioned it in the chat, butter the size of a hen's egg. It just drives you nuts. How many of you are snacking with all this food talk? Nah, I had dinner late. My snack is liquid. And that's the end of that. Wow, we got through all that stuff. We got through all that stuff fast. I do have other stuff. Now, we do have different people here now. So I'll show you some of the things that didn't sell, and then I'll show you some other stuff that we didn't have put up yet. I had some vintage coloring books earlier. Now, this one's from the 1970s. And it does have a name written on the front, but it does have all these great, and it's double pages. So this is $6, number 9, for anybody who would like one of these, because that didn't sell. One did. I have 2 of these. So $6, number 9. And Misha, I'm going to check now about your email. Misha, darling, you're in Texas? Sweetie, you're in Texas. How are you holding up? There's quite a few people that we know in this reselling community that live in Texas, and we've been very worried about a lot of you. My own cousin's down there, and I'm getting worried because I haven't heard anything. I haven't gotten any answer back from him. But my aunt and uncle are down there, and Aunt Michiko and Uncle Bert are well into their 80s now. So, but let's see what else we have. We have the vintage valentines. We have the 4 vintage valentines. And yeah, why don't we lower the price on these a little bit? And we will have the 4 valentines at $8, number 29. $8, number 29 for the 4 vintage valentines. They all have been used. They all have names on the inside. Okay. Auntie K. And I'm lowered them to 8. Put that there. Now let's see. Where is... Oh, come here, little puppies. Come here. So these also didn't sell. I can't really lower the price on these because I know what I paid for them. We have the two tiny little puppy twins. They do kind of have that bulldog face. And they are chained together. So these two little guys were $4, number 12 for these guys. $4, number 12. They are made in Japan. They do have Japan on the bottom. But the two little miniature porcelain puppies were $4, number 12. I have to put their number back on the bottom. I don't know what I did with the chalk. And okay, now this thing has been here. This kind of reminds me of the night we did the NyQuil disco ball. This thing, she is a piece of work. I love that she even has her own little satin purse to go with her little dress. She does have the legs up in there. And then this is her dress kind of puffed out around the back. And she's kind of overwhelming her there. But this is somebody made this. It probably was meant to hide toilet paper because back in the day they did make these, but I've never seen one with all these layers before. Somebody really went to town to put all these layers of crocheting, and then they attached all these little roses and the little ribbons, and she's just too funny. And I've not found one. I think it's crochet. It's hard to tell. Okay, you tell me. I think it might be crochet. Good night, Philly Flipper. Yeah, he's on the same time as I am. He's probably get up and do his own channel in the morning. So I don't know. She's kind of hard to tell. But she is a piece of work, isn't she? So she's kind of tall. You know, she's not quite a foot tall. So this unique little piece of when did they start doing these? 1970s kitsch? Did they make these in the 60s? I think she's kind of like 70s or maybe even the 80s. She is a porcelain doll too. And she's a soft body because I could feel it inside, but her from about the knee down is no, you didn't miss the pottery vase. The Tonala, I haven't done that. That's next. So the I've seen ones like that where the skirt laid out across the bed. I wonder if her eyes, if she's got the eyes that go to sleep. No, her eyes don't move. She's going to stare at you all night long. Oh, she's she's popping out of there. Get back in there, girl. Okay, so if anyone would like the crocheted dress girl or the toilet paper girl, whatever you want to call her, she is $8. She's number 2. She's $8, number 2 for this wonderful kitsch kind of thing. She'll judge you as you go to the bathroom. Yes, she will judge you. She's $8, number 2. Oh, wow. Number 2 is the wrong number to have for her. Oh my. Yeah, she's something. All right. Now, somebody wanted to know about the pottery vase. And I need to know, which pottery vase were you, Nettie, which one were you looking for? Because I have two. One is a piece of Tanala, and one is an interesting looking mid-century piece from, I think it's at Czechoslovakia. You know, you guys have ruined that doll for me. I am never going to be able to look at that thing the same way. Nobody wants the psycho doll to stare at them in the bathroom? Oh, you want the Tanala. You want to see the Tanala. Okay. Oh, where'd that come from? Get off of there. You're not one of my stickers. Get off of there. So I found this lovely Tanala vase. Now, I have to admit, I found it not in my house. I found it at Goodwill. And it's gorgeous. And it has just a tiny little flaw on the rim. There's a tiny little flea bite and a little chip right there. Now that's on the back, and that's the back. So when you turn it around, you don't see that, you see this. Isn't that great looking? Look at that bird. Isn't that fabulous? And it is marked Mexico, and I don't know if that's the artist mark, I'm assuming, but I don't know that artist. So, yeah, isn't that fabulous? And like I said, other than that little flea bite on the back, you know, you're not going to see that from the front at all. But it is a lovely piece. It's absolutely beautiful bird on there. So we're gonna offer up the Tanala, and we're gonna start this low. We're gonna start this at $6 and let you guys hash it out. I mean, I think they really went above and beyond with some of the detail on this one, because they went to the trouble to put like this little line of a feather on the head. They put this little extension on the stylized feather or branch underneath it. They did the same thing with these down here. So whoever this artist was, they put this little feathering right here. They went above and beyond to make this decorative. It really is just gorgeous. Now it stands, if I get the right end round here. So it's 5.5 inches tall, but it really is beautiful. Now they did the little lines there, and they didn't do it symmetrical in that there's these two little dots here, but they're not on that side. But it doesn't matter. This is the side you're getting it for. You're getting that wonderful, wonderful bird. Look at this baby. Isn't that gorgeous? And the feathering is just beautiful. And there's no chips to any of the paint. The paint is in beautiful shape. It's absolutely gorgeous. Lovely piece of Tanala. Yeah, I mean, it's not even my kind of style, but I can appreciate how gorgeous it is. It really is a lovely piece. Now, who Who got that one? I know Nettie had her eye on it, but doggone happy vintage. Oh, for 22. Sorry, Nettie. Doggone happy. It is a beauty, though. Oh, vintage Viking, you dropped one in. Oh, man. That would have been cool to see a turtle one. Yeah, my poor eBay store is like so neglected. Now, this one, you ready to hold on to your mid-century modern butts here? Made in Czechoslovakia. There is a slight flaw. There is a hairline crack that goes down this side, and it is on the inside. And that little crack breaks my heart because look at this baby. Look at this. Does this not... Now this side's perfect. There's no marks or anything. But isn't this just scream mid-century modern? And these are actually, these are curly cues. They've actually curled the porcelain around. And, you know, I can see you. It goes all the way through. This is hollow all the way through. Isn't that just really cool looking? But it is made in Czechoslovakia. It's a gorgeous piece. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful piece. And it basically is just these two wonderful swirl lines. And then they did the same thing down here. It's just a swirl, and then they finished it off with this curly cue. So it honestly, it looks like they took two pieces of porcelain and just rolled it up and folded it over. And these little pieces are hollow all the way down to the bottom, but the center is not hollow. But like I said, there is this hairline that I can see it. It's really, really super thin. My screen is cracked on my phone. I think you guys can see it. And I'm not sure if it's pottery or porcelain. I kind of think it's more porcelain. And that's red. That's a deep that's in the red spectrum. It's almost slightly purple. Like not as dark as a plum. So mauve is a color that's kind of in between a purple and a red, but this is a really deep coloring of that. Now there is a little dot here where there had been a bubble in the glaze, and that little hairline that goes from here goes up to here, and it's really tight too. It's a tight little crack. Like sometimes, you know, they'll open up a little bit, and it didn't open up. But yeah, that slight discoloration right up here. Right, well, I can't even find it now. Where'd it go? There it is. So it's right there and comes down to here is this little, and the way this thing is reflecting, the way the gloss on this keeps reflecting everything, it's hard for me to show it to you because it's just glaring off of everything. But the color does go, it fades. You can see where it fades on the inside, but the coloring is all in this top upper part, and it's the same color that's here. But it's just gorgeous. Yeah, like a deep cherry, like what you would get for if you buy cherries, real cherries, not those maraschino ones. It's that deep, rich color. So this one, This one is an offer up. And we're going to start this one. God, it is 10 inches tall. Maroon. There we go. Brain like a steel sieve. Maroon would be good. This is an offer up. Like I said, the lines of this thing are really just gorgeous. I just like looking at it from that way because I love the curves to it. So we're going to start this at $7. I mean, I would start this more. I would have put this on eBay for a lot higher, but with that crack, that's kind of frustrating. But it's an offer up. We'll start it at 7. 555 means changes are coming. Congrats. What's that mean? So it's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. And it's got that wonderful mid-century look. Like I said, the only real flaw is that hairline, but you won't see that when you have that to the back. And really, it's just, it's too pretty a piece not to try to want to find a home for this. Oh, I'm at 555 subscribers. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. But it's just, now I had a heck of a time washing it because there was some dirt down in the bottom, but I got that as clean as I could. Luckily, my hands are kind of small, so I was able to fit my hand in there. So it's all cleaned up really beautifully. It's just such a fabulous piece. I had to find a home for this because this should not be discarded just because of this little crack. It's just too great a piece. And there's no other chips. That rim is just gorgeous. The colors are gorgeous. Mandy K, you're new too. Do I have an email from you? I see Nanette. Why do I know Oakdale, California? I don't have Mandy K. I need you to register with me. Check vase. Because we do, a lot of us have had to go to, get away from me, little gnat. A lot of us have had to have everybody pre-register because of problems of people not coming in. Yes, please. I kind of think I've seen your name before, and it's probably from Misty or Jeffrey. I don't tend to see a lot of the same people that they do because they're during the day, and with my work schedule and with this, there's so many live scheduled, it's just easier for me to be doing this as a night owl thing. It also gives those on the West Coast a chance to come play. Vintage Viking Treasures. You were going to do a live. Now, see, I do lives with both my film on my phone, but I have the chat running on the laptop because it's so much easier to see. And if I need to, and usually my mods are pretty good at putting other people's channels in, putting links in. But if I have to do it, then I can't do it on the phone because I'm filming on the phone because it has a better camera than the laptop. Though I still think, looking at my laptop, I think I look awful washed out tonight. And I actually have foundation on, but it's foundation that is really pale. Because for me, my skin is so porcelain pale anyway that if I put anything too dark on, I look orange. And I'd rather not look like an Oompa Loompa. Yeah, the West Coast appreciates this. I'm sure you do. I have a brother who is in Upland, California, and he is, so that's just east of Los Angeles. Yeah, I try because I know bright lights, and I always had that trouble when I sang on stage is because the bright lights, they'd always want to put darker makeup on me, but if they did, I'd look orange. Let's see, what haven't we put up? Oh, I didn't get to this. And somebody's already claimed that. We didn't get to this. Or this guy. All right, so I know Upland. He's always bragging about the shops in Upland, and I've never been out there to go see him, unfortunately. And he just turned. He's 16 years older than I am, so he just turned 72. He's my oldest brother, but he's my big brother. My sister got all pissy with me one day because I kept calling him Stevie. I was in my 20s. I was still calling him Stevie. And she got her nose bent out of joint about it. Don't you think at his age he'd want to be called Steve? He heard her, turned around and gave her a crap load of and said, no way. She can call me whatever she wants me. Because I'm his baby sister and he's my big brother. So I have this neat little thing, and it's really well done. They did use a variegated red for the words, which makes it a little harder to read because it looks like they fade in and out between red and pink. The rooster may crow, but the hen delivers the goods. And it's all nicely framed. There is a weird little dot here and another one here. And it repeats. And it's the same size. So I think it was something in the actual frame when they made it. The back is beautifully done. So it was professionally framed up. But it is a lovely piece of cross stitch. And this one would be letter L. And it will be, how big are you? It's 8 by 8 square for this great piece of cross stitch. It's letter L, and it would be $7. That's a lot of work they put into that. And it's beautiful because whoever did it is really good because all of their stitches are the same size. And my cross stitch isn't that perfect. $7, letter L. It is kind of cute. The rooster may crow, but the hen delivers the goods. It is kind of cute. Yeah, I mean, it would have cost more than that for the supplies. I know. I've got boxes of supplies of that stuff. And there is Mandy K. And Sharon. Oh, Sharon, honey, I have your stuff. So let me get back to I'm not awful at cross stitch, but I haven't done it enough to be able to get the stitches to be that perfectly the same size all the time. And that takes years of doing it. Iris, honey, I can't even get to my supplies yet. They're all in a front bedroom that I can't even get in the door because there's 2 ottomans standing up in the doorway. So, yeah, at some point, man, I could probably have a big cross stitch sale. I should just probably have a big craft sale. The little red gnome. Okay, so I got her at the first and only time I've been to the bins. When I took Gandalf to the emergency vet in Delaware, there was a bins outlet nearby. So while they did a procedure on him, they said, well, go find something to do for 2 to 3 hours. So I went to the bins and I found her. Now she moves. She's got a little thing in her back to move her hand. She was a giveaway for Burger King, but she's from Romeo and Juliet, which I remember that movie. And I just thought she was so sweet and cute. And I thought I'd keep her for Valentine's Day because she was really sweet looking. And I don't really have that much in Valentine's Day. Jewel T, see, your family's cool. My sister, I love her dearly, but my sister's a little bit prissy. But she's my only sister, and I think the big problem is that we're such totally different generations because she's 14 years older than I am. My mom used to tell me that when I was born, my sister cried because she said she was too old to play with me. And by the time I got old enough to remember her, she left for college. So I don't really have a lot of memories of her either until she got married when I was 13. I saw more of her after she got married than I saw of her before then. So yeah, there's a 16-year age spread and I'm the youngest. So, yeah, Jewel T, I grew up with 4 brothers and a Boy Scout troop. So I had about 30 pseudo brothers over the years and 1 sister. She's still stuck being called Barbie. Okay, so some of you may have seen the video where I went through this. So I'm offering up for anybody who would like to have this, since I'm done with it. The Sears Craft Catalog. I should show you my favorite page. My favorite page, they call them sparkling mosaics, but these are the old gravel kits. The reason this is my favorite page is because my sister made this cat. So I am now on the lookout. I want to find that one so that I have the pair. Iris says right off the bat, you're not bidding on it. Well, you know, I mean, some of you may have already seen the video. Now, this is it was the year, December 31st, 1971, Sears Craft Catalog. And it was a lot of fun to go through this. It was even more of a surprise to find something in it that I actually own. And I really want that other. Is there a big animal scene in the book? I don't know. I mean, there are animals in different pages. Like there is this one where the kits you could buy, these are all made of seeds. And but I did the video and went through the whole thing. I still laugh at these guys. For those who have not seen the video, I swore these were mice. I swore those were mice. But it says they're bears. They just, no. Oh, I don't think Sears would still have that kit around, though that would be cool. So, you guys are making me, oh, L was the cross stitch, which nobody was interested in. So this would be, we'll make this one. Sears catalog. So this, they do look like mice, right? Because they use the little lighter colored tan pom-poms for the ears. But then I realized that's, as I was doing the video, I said, That's a honey pot. And then I looked at the thing and it says little bears. They are in no way looking like bears. Good night, Angela. I don't know. Sears might have gone bankrupt now. I think they've all closed. But so the Sears Craft Catalog, Craft Fun Catalog from 1971 is $7 and it's letter R. $7, letter R. I was very careful with it when I did my video. It's still in great condition. There's nothing wrong. There's no creases. It's in great shape. Antique. Uh-oh, what did that just do? All right. Now this one is some eye candy. We went through this one the other night. It's Our Food, Where It Comes From. Did we find? I don't think we ever found a date on this, did we? Oh, yes, we did. 1945, the National Dairy Council. But every page is these wonderful, wonderful lithographs. And the colors are just fabulous. So we're going to do an offer up for Our Food. It's only a slim little paperback. So, but as you see these pictures, you're just going to fall in love with how gorgeous these pictures are. This one, I kind of think this one would be a crime to cut up for a junk journal in its own way. But you could, as each season goes by, you could take little paper clips, especially these kind, because they don't hurt stuff, and you could put it open and have this as the backdrop pictures to some little vignette on your counter. But it is gorgeous. So we're going to do this as an offer up, and it's going to start at $4. And you have the bananas. I mean, it's not all the stuff in the US. It's the bananas and stuff. But I had to laugh because this is back in the day when the little boys would be in the shorts, and out in the garden, you're still in your nice little polo top. We did laugh a lot over this one because that is not how pineapples grow. They don't look like soft, long grass like that. And who on earth is gardening in a grass skirt? Okay. So we have that. When they go into the vegetables, I did laugh about this because it talked about the vegetables' yellow roots in the ground, but those are orange carrots. And then we have this great picture, which covers 2 pages. And of course, it's from the late 40s with the little girls wearing her apron to be out in the garden. But it's just great, great graphics. I do like the milk truck is really cool. But, oh, it's just such great pictures. Such absolutely great pictures. And of course, you've got that one's got all the farm animals on it. And even the back cover has got great pictures. I know I skipped a few pictures. I think we did the potatoes and the peas. Peas don't really kind of grow short like that either. They're a vine. There's the other pictures that I didn't do. The bread, the girl in the wheat field. And I see Auntie Kay. That is such a great, great book. I'm just amazed that it's in like brand new condition. It's really in fabulous condition. Now I saw a comment about something completed and framed. Was somebody asking about the picture I showed or looking at something else? Because I missed that whole conversation. Because I could show that cross-stitch picture again if somebody wanted to see it. Um, let's see. Not that. Those are Christmas. Those are taken. Oh, it was about your grandma? Okay. There's also 3 books here that were in the unboxing last week. No owls tonight. I don't have any owls, but we definitely call ourselves the night owls because this doesn't start until 11 p.m. Because usually when I'm at work until 10. So I'm really glad that I had off most of this week because of things that have gone on this week. And then because of the weather. So for those of you who like to do sewing, we have 3 craft books, sort of. One of them is a slip covers. I really do like that fabric. I wish I knew where that was. This has, 112 pages and says it's a first edition from 1998. So this is definitely newer than most of the books I offer. But if anybody's interested in sewing, the slipcover books will be, the slipcover book would be S and would be $7. Nancy's going to pull one piece of paper out and the mountains will devour me. It's not as bad as all that. Close, but it's not as bad as all that. And this is the messy end, but it's better. It's lower. It's definitely lower. And what you guys could see is that box we went through last week came from right here next to me. So I now have space. This is what happens when you inherit 3 estates worth of stuff. You get downsized out of a job. You can't afford the storage unit anymore. At that point, I didn't have all 3 estates. I had 1. And then had stuff here from the second estate, had to move the storage unit stuff here, and then inherited another massive book collection from another one. So yeah, there's actually a little space on the floor next to me, and the cat absolutely loves it. But yeah, I get that. Some days I worry about that. I do not have any Jim Shore, and I have not yet found any Jim Shore at a price that I could resell it for. I don't get the big amount of people. I'm not as big as some of these other channels that get, 400 and 500 people at their sales. So my prices have to really be low. And Jim Shore, so far, what I've seen, I can't pay $20 for a piece and then flip it. That just doesn't happen for me. But Willow Tree, I don't know what Willow Tree is. I will look that up. Iris, get in line. A lot of people want to come sourcing in my house. Here's a patchwork book. And this is another one too. It's fairly new compared to everything else. This one's from 1980. It's a nice hardback. It's got, wall hangings of houses that you can do. An interlocking quilt and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Nope. I flunked phonetics in school. We're not doing that. Hexagon and log cabin. Let's not look at the picture of the tabby cat. It'll just make me upset. They They've got little pillow ones you can do. So it's even got little purses that you could do miniature quilt pattern and eyeglass cases. So it's got some neat stuff into it. Embroidery books like Hardinger. Possibly, but I don't. Here's the problem with having all this stuff. I don't know where things are. Or I might know where they are and know that I can't get to them. Like at Christmas, my parents' vintage Christmas stuff is all still in the attic. And if you see my attic videos, you'll understand why I can't get to it, because I can't do more than walk in the door. But I did get stuff out of the attic a little bit, so I can walk in the door. So yeah, the whole place is a work in progress. So if anybody's interested in the patchwork book, it's P for patchwork, and this one is $6. Let's make them 6. P for patchwork, $6. I should have made the slipcover one 6. Okay, Iris wants that one. And then this has 80 pages in it. And my favorite is in the back. They called them sachet dolls, but it's a beautiful, beautiful dress on her. I'm trying to not have the glare on the page from the light, and that's all embroidery work on top of that. But they're called a bride and groom sachet dolls. This guy is kind of weird looking. He looks like a Jim Henson Muppet, but he's a pajama bag. So yeah, if you have specific things that you want to know if I have sent, I have started keeping a list. Some things I can kind of tell that I would know, like the Jim Shore stuff is a lot newer than any of the stuff I've inherited. So I know I don't. If I have a Jim Shore, it would be because I found one at a yard sale or Goodwill or something. So you have Jumping Jack, who's a puppet you can make. But this one is all cherished dolls to make for fun. It has some of the dolls that you can make on the front. Well, yeah, I mean, a PJ bag. Now, there's a little foxing. This one's from 1984. And see all these little brown dots? That's called foxing. Foxing happens to paper when moisture gets to it. But it only seems to be on that front end paper page. She's pretty. I like the hair on that one. She's a pretty little one. And they've got a country girl. I like, though, that they actually tell you how to do the faces. Because a lot of times I've seen these where they don't tell you how to do the faces, but I think they failed on his face. His eyes just look a little weird. I mean, do they not look a little strange? Is this the one? So this one, I'm trying to figure out the height because she looks huge. Stockings, dress. Give me a height. They say I guess they use dollhouse furniture because they say she's only 13 inches tall. But because of the furniture around her, she looks bigger than that. But they have great images in here. They've got baseball players, just how to make clothing for them. These cracked me up because they're made with mop string. So you buy a new mop head and you take it apart and you make them and their clothes out of the string. So it's really kind of cool because they're different. They're very different than what you see in today's stuff. Like today, they're all making them look like Barbie, which doesn't look right for a cloth doll. There's a country rag doll. We're not looking at the circus clown. Nope. And then there's little tiny ones. You can make, these are only 6 inches tall. These are a whole family of little tiny ones. And these are only 6 inches. So these are pretty cool. So this is another one, the doll one, Z. We'll make this letter Z, and it's $6 for the doll one. Letter Z, $6 for the doll one. I get so interested in like showing you how cool they are that you know. Now, I'm not a big clown lover. Judy Reardon. Okay. The only clown thing I've ever really liked, well, Clarabelle was okay, but there is a movie called Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It is the most bizarre sci-fi movie. Somebody was on a bad acid trip at a circus, let me tell you. But it's called Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And it is the creepiest but funniest movie at the same time you will ever watch. And it's one of these cult classic kind of movies. And it's disturbing, but at the same time, if you go into it knowing it's going to be bizarre, you can really, there are moments in it you can get some really good laughs out of it. It's, what's the other one? The Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which has a very young George Clooney in it. And The Return of the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. It had been on Netflix, not Killer Tomatoes, but Attack of the Killer Clowns had been on Netflix at one point. There's a lot of bizarre movies out there. The No Clown Club. Gnomes are cute. Trolls live under bridges. Not so cute. Jewel T, now do you have the Norwegian gnomes, like the Scandinavian ones? I have to look into them because I have 2 or 3. I have 2 or 3 from Norway. I have to ask my cousin. Which one did you live in? I don't think they were there long. But I have some Scandinavian ones that I have to look up. I'm pretty sure they're from Norway. But I have to look them up because I don't know anything about them, and I think they're, at least one of them I think is hand carved wood. So I have to look them up. I'm not big on those garden gnomes, though I have to laugh. I did see one that had the Star Trek red shirt on it, which made me laugh because the red shirts in Star Trek always end up dying. So it's been great. We've gotten through a lot of stuff tonight. Stuff I just kind of added in there too. And we've had a good night. And I think it's 2 a.m. We started at 11. I think it's time to call it a night. I can always tell because my throat starts beginning to hurt. I haven't sung or talked in that long in a long time. My throat starts to go. So you guys have a good night. Have a good weekend. I have a lot of time off next week too. They've hired a lot of new people, so I think my hours are about to get cut again. So now I had been to try to get caught up and with the invoicing and packing. I had been alternating live sales with unboxings. And I'm still going to do that to the end of February. So next week will be an unboxing. And sometimes I do tend to sell a little bit. I won't have a full sale, but I might sell a little bit out that night. And then the following week would be a live sale. So the 25th would be an unboxing, and then we get into March. So March 4th and probably the 11th will be live sales going forward in March. So in March, they should be hopefully a live sale every Thursday night. And like I said, we genuinely call ourselves the night owls, but it's because for those of us on the East Coast, we're not starting until 11 p.m. But that gives me a chance to get home. Yes, Katie, dear, I have your info. So it gives me a chance to get home, quick eat something for dinner, and then be ready to roll at 11 because I usually work until 10 p.m. So the 4th is your daughter's birthday. Well, happy birthday to your daughter. I don't think I have. Well, my aunt passed away, so we don't have a St. Patrick's Day baby anymore. Yes, books will go media mail. Books will always go media mail because that's the best way to get them out of here. So, yes, dear Iris, the live is ending. Go get your food now. Go get your snacks. So you guys all have a good week. Have a good weekend. Oh, and I will start working on invoices in the morning. I'm probably going to hit the hay. It's been a rough 2 days for me with having to put my cat down after working so hard to try to get him through. But, with HIV and a feline, if they have any illness, it can activate, from what they told me, and start causing organ failure. And for him, we didn't want him going through that because when the liver starts going, we're not having that with my babies, my fur babies. So, and Debbie, you're going to have a new grandbaby anytime now, right? So, oh, Annie K, you hadn't heard? Yeah, Gandalf did not make it. He was healing. He was healing from the infection. That was healing. But then I noticed, like, over the weekend, and I'd stroke him, he was gaining weight, and then all of a sudden he was losing it again. And it just, they did the tests on Wednesday and found out that the blood cell count was much better. So he was fighting the infection, but because we don't know how long he had HIV, he was outside. He was a stray. He was called Gandalf the Stray for a reason. And he stopped eating Tuesday, and by Tuesday night I realized he wasn't even drinking any water. He just laid down by the water bowl and just stared at it. And I've seen animals that we've had do that before, and it usually means something is very, very wrong, and they're going to just stop eating and stop drinking. And so when he was at the vet, they said they did some tests and they checked, and his already was showing signs of the liver starting to shut down. So I had to send him on across the Rainbow Bridge. So he is now in the backyard. He's home. He's just in the yard with all the other years. What do we figure? 56 years of animals? No, more than that. 58 years of family pets that are out there. So yeah, I'm gonna hit the hay. It's been a rough 2 days because he tried so hard to get over. Once he got through that 2 days of me spoon feeding him and eye drops for water. Oh, hon, he'll be waiting for me along with so many other pets. There'll be a line. Guinea pigs and cats and dogs and a rabbit. Then that's just my pets. So, but yeah. And in the spring, we'll see what happens because everybody will have kittens because the strays will have kittens and people try to rescue the kittens. So we might we'll see. Maybe in the spring we'll get a kitten. And this time we'll make sure it's a female though, in case the doctor freaks out. And maybe we won't name it something from Doctor Who. So you guys have a good night, and I will see you next time. And we'll see what we can have for an unboxing. And so I'll see what I can do. And nobody wants I don't think we sold her, did we? Nobody wants the creepy little bathroom girl. If you take her out, her drawers are down. If you take her out, she's probably a pretty little doll. But yeah, that's her eyes not closing are just bizarre. Night owls unite and keep the raccoons out of your third floor. Good night, guys. Thank you. I needed that laugh. I'll see you guys next week. Same time, 11 p.m. Thursday night. Bye.